Let me tell you something for the females out here. And also military personnel. So when the VA and like the military, they love ibuprofen. They absolutely, it's like literally Tic Tacs for us. Okay. That's how we get them. And for me, for cramps, TMI, when I get my period, I had to take 800 milligrams twice a day.
800?
800. So 1,600 total in 24 hours. So I've been doing that for years. I get a hold of Dave's Scream, and I'm like, what the hell? I'm talking about, a little bit too, just rubbed it, just rubbed it in my stomach area, in the abdomen area, and no pain whatsoever.
All right, ladies, you hear that? If you got cramps or that time of month, make sure to definitely grab some ointment. CBD, yes. THC.
His has both CBD and THC.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for being on the show. Is there anything else you want to say about Cannabis Synergy or how to be a part of it?
Oh, yeah. Please follow us at cannabis.synergy. Sign up for our newsletter coming soon on our website, cannabissynergy.tv. Jesus.
See the dogs?
Yeah, those are my doggies. But yeah, follow us, and the last Friday of every month, Shaggy and myself, Anna and Anthony, and a whole bunch of cannabis people that work in the industry that are a part of the movement. Pretty much the backbone, because we're the ones moving it forward, despite, what the media only covers. And that's why, and honestly, that's the main reason too. There are conversations like we mentioned earlier that need to be had, and the people aren't having it. So why not us bringing them up and getting them started? Because why wait any longer?
And even though this is a cannabis podcast, like we were talking, or me and Joanne were talking about before the show, this is a conversation. And that's what we need to start having in America. We keep saying everything's taboo, or it's not the right time to talk about it, or we shouldn't talk about it. And that's honestly bullshit. The reason things get fixed is because you talk about them, you work it out. And even though they might be very uncomfortable, yes. And honestly, some of these conversations should make you very uncomfortable, they need to be had. So this will start off as a cannabis podcast. We'll keep it mostly like that. But if you do have questions or any topics that you would like us to talk about, feel free to comment or message me, and I'll bring them up on the show. But again, thank you so much.
And this was so much fun.
It was such a blast. I can't wait to have you on again.
Yes.
And also our show Friday.
Yep.
All right.
Thank you.
And then, so yeah, that was great having Joanne on, and also my first guest for the first podcast. It was amazing. Also, if you have any questions for her, feel free to message me or Cannabis Synergy, and she can reach back out to you to get those questions answered. So to go along with the misconceptions and everything that we were talking about earlier, there's one more that I'd really like to just bring up that's just very simple. You cannot overdose on marijuana. When this is said, it's true and it's not. What I want to say is there has been 0 deaths from cannabis. And the reason this is because to die or to overdose on cannabis, you have to have over 1,000 pounds per minute, which that is impossible. And you cannot consume that much in a minute. So that's where it's saying that you cannot overdose. It is technically possible, but the amount you have to consume is impossible. And why I think cannabis is so great, or about, honestly, that makes it different than anything else in the entire world, is you can drink too much water. You can eat too much food. There's so many things that can kill you besides alcohol, tobacco, caffeine, and painkillers. There's so many simple things that we consume every day that could kill us. But for some reason, you cannot overdose on cannabis. How is that not a miracle drug? I'm not one to be religious. I like to take different parts from different religions and create my own ideology. And I'm not going to really try to bring that up much, but if you are religious, how is that not a miracle? Something that can heal epilepsy, cancer, arthritis, Parkinson's disease, Crohn's disease, insomnia, I mean, and many, many more. And we're discovering so much more. How is that not a miracle? Now, there was a short story that I came across a couple years ago that really touched me. I guess if you would say this is the stoner's religion, but really it's just great ways that people should view the world and view through cannabis to make it a better place. It's a really, like I said, it's a really short story that you can purchase. It's also online at the420code.com, and each week I'll just pick out a little segment. The 420 code consists of 4 virtues and the 20 thumbs are rules of thumb. The 4 virtues are openness, honesty, freedom, and fun. So today I'll talk about the first one. Openness means a welcoming of new experience. Openness means a receptive to new ideas, and openness means that you know that you do not know everything. This is the same thing with knowledge. It's being able to not attack and not talk pretty much and allow you to listen. This is a great thing to just embrace, especially while you're consuming with your friends. If you're smoking a blunt or having a smoke session, sometimes it's not best to be the one talking all the time, but to listen to your friends, listen to what they're talking about, add to the conversations, don't be the conversation. Same thing with knowledge. I always say some of the smartest people in the world are the ones who admit that they know nothing and are just willing to learn from those around them. Joe Rogan is a great example of this. He admits all the time that he's not a genius, but it's common sense. And what he does on his podcast that I love is that he brings on people from not only the USC and comedy, which he's familiar with, but he brings on politicians and scientists and people like Neil deGrasse Tyson and Elon Musk, and he brings on people that are smarter than him in these other subjects, and he asks them questions, but he listens. He really doesn't talk too much. His biggest thing about his show is listening to his guests, and I think that's a great thing with cannabis that allows you to do, is just to sit back and listen to other people that might know more than you, and will open you up to more experiences. Since coming out in the 3 years, the cannabis industry has opened me up to more opportunity in my life than I've ever experienced before. I've traveled more than I've ever done. I've planned more trips. I've been to so many events. I've met people that were a part of great bands from back in the day. I don't want to put their names out there, but it's just amazing everything that cannabis has opened me up to, not just from consuming myself, but being in the industry as well. Now, that was one of the 4 virtues. I would like to start with one of the 20 rules of thumb. You know what, with that one, I would like to start not at the beginning, but probably, Alright, so number 11 of the code, or the 20 rules of thumb, is share your trees freely. Now, what does this mean is that when your friends come over or you're sharing experience with some people, is that you're willing to smoke them up and share your weed with them, showing them, hey, this has made me feel amazing. It's taken away my anxiety, or it's just really uplifted me and helped me be creative. Whatever it is, you're trying to share that experience with people. And so when people come over, I will always much rather be higher with my friends than be high by myself. Now, I'm not going to wait for my friends so I can smoke, but if my friends are there, we're all smoking. I don't care who they are or if they have weed or not. I'm going to share my cannabis with them to share that experience together. You shouldn't share cannabis thinking that you're going to be smoked up, but usually it tends to happen. The people that tend to share more will be smoked up more. And so just don't be greedy with your weed. If it's maybe your last little bit, that's fine. I understand not wanting to smoke up everybody. But if you have something to share it. Not expecting some back, but just knowing it's going out into the universe and that it will come back. It's almost like karma. So that pretty much is going to wrap it up for the first episode of Stoner Drive. I really hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. And like I said, I'll be back every Wednesday to share you more information and entertainment from what we learned today. So just remember, stay high, but know your dose.